YouTube Live for all you people. Just give it a second here. Let's have a look into the chat. Anything interesting? I killed a few in my dream as well. Oh, good, Kartik. Good. I'm glad this is not just me. These days, I'm only dreaming of the PTE, says somebody. Yeah, well, that will soon end, hopefully. All right, I'm going to pop the link for the YouTube Live into the chat there. And I'm going to restrict the chat so you can only chat with me. You can't chat between each other. That's cool. Hi, Jay. I'm wondering, are you a surfer? I used to be. Funnily enough, I grew up, I don't know if you know the Great Ocean Road in Victoria. I grew up in a very, very small town. In fact, it wasn't even a town. I just grew up in the middle of nowhere, but it was near the beach. So yes, from the ages of about 18 to 24, I used to surf every day pretty much, but not now. Not now. Now I'm an adult. Terrible. Okay, cool. I think we're ready to go. Some other questions in there, but I'll, adults can surf too, says Suman. Yes, I agree, actually. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road. Let me just check that this is working. Whoops, there's one more thing I need to do. Okay, I need my little drawing tool. Okay, that's fine. Yep, okay, good. And last thing is setting the slides up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PT Reading Live mock test. Let's get straight into it. Okay, in today's mock test, we're going to do a multiple choice single answer, multiple choice multiple answers, a reorder paragraph, a fill in the blanks, and the dreaded reading and writing fill in the blanks. Now, I've got to give you a word of warning. The multiple choice single answer we're going to do tonight is tough, but that's okay. We'll get to that in a second. I did it just before and I was like, what is this? Just before we kick it off, let's look at time management because this is an important part of your PT reading. You need to sort of form a bit of an internal clock as to how long you should spend on each of the tasks. And I did a bit of mathematics and I would suggest that you spend these amounts of time. For multiple choice single answer, of which you'll get 2 or 3 on test day, you should spend around 2 minutes. Multiple choice multiple answers, of which you'll get 2 or 3 on test day, you should spend around 2.5, 3 minutes probably. They take a little bit longer. Now, just if you've never taken this test before, here's a tip. There's no transition slide between tasks. So you'll be doing multiple choice single answer, 1, 2, 3, and then you don't really know, but it's changed to multiple choice multiple answers. So you just need to sort of keep in mind about what you're looking at, because when I did mine, I freaked out because I thought I had just chosen 1 for multiple choice multiple answers. Anyway, just sort of pay attention to the instructions and what the task looks like, and especially that transition between single answer and multiple answers, okay? Reorder paragraph, of which you'll get 2 or 3. You should spend about 2 minutes. I'm going to time you tonight so you'll know how much time to spend. Fill in the blanks. You'll get 4 or 5 of these. You should spend about 90 seconds. Reading and writing fill in the blanks, of which you'll get 5 to 6. You should spend about 2.5 minutes on each. They're quite long. Really, though, it's just about doing this as efficiently as possible and then moving on, okay? Don't labor it. Don't hang around on a particular question for too long. You're better off making sure that you get through the entire exam rather than getting this one correct, okay? All right, but they do give you plenty of time. There is enough time to do this well. Let's take a look at multiple choice, choose single answer. This is what it looks like on test day, and you can distinguish it from multiple answers because the answer options have a circular radio button. What am I talking about? I'm talking about these little circles here. This will let you know that you can only choose 1, and thus it is a single answer. Multiple choice, multiple answers, which I'll show you in a second, has squares. So what are you supposed to do with this on test day? Where do you start? Well, let me talk you through it. You should definitely start with the question prompt. You want to read this and you want to know what you're looking for. For example, an opinion or a main idea or an inference, for example. Then you want to sort of connect the question prompt to the answer options. Read the answer options next, thinking about that thing that you have to find in this text. Then you should read the text, deep read it. You have enough time. Go back to the question prompt because you've probably forgotten what you're looking for, and then start to do the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eliminate, 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 and then find the answer. The process of elimination is just as important as actually finding the right answer. Okay, what's going on? Okay, cool. So understand the question prompt, connect the question prompt to the answer options, deep read the text, reread the prompt, eliminate incorrect answers, locate the correct answer. This one's tough. I'm just going to show you something before we begin. This is a question asking about inference. Okay, the question prompt says, which of the following can be inferred from the text? So if you look down to the bottom there, infer means to deduce or conclude something from evidence and reasoning rather than from explicit statements. What that means is the exact answer option is not going to be mentioned in that text, but it's going to suggest something. Okay, let's say, I'll give you a very simple example of an inference. Let's say you're about to leave the house and somebody says, oh, can you hand me the umbrella? What's the inference there? The inference is that it's raining outside, and that's why they've said, give me the umbrella. And you automatically know, they haven't said it's raining, but they've said, give me the umbrella. The inference, reading between the lines, you know that it's raining out there, so they need the umbrella. So what you need to do with this particular question, if one of those statements is explicitly mentioned in the text, I want you to eliminate it, okay? There's going to be a statement, one of those answer options, which will, you can deduce, or if you read this thing, then you read all of those answer options, one of them will suggest something. That's the inference. It's really tricky. I'm gonna give you, I think this is 3 full minutes here. I'm actually going to kill the timer. Don't worry about the timer. Okay, I'll start the timer now. I want you to eliminate the ones that are explicitly mentioned. All right, let's take a look. This is, oh, good, good, good. A lot of people got it. A lot of people didn't, but that's okay. Let's go through. Before we look at the answer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate ones that are definitely not inferences, because if they are directly mentioned in the text, then it's not an inference. So this one, for example, it says, we are bombarded with attention-grabbing distractions. That comes from the top, and that's definitely not an inference. That's just there. It's explicitly said. So I'm going to eliminate E for sure. That one's out, right? This is why a process of elimination is so good. Okay, let's go up to A. Our brain ignores environmental distractions to gain focus. Well, in fact, if we read here, it's previously brain scientists believed that maintaining focus in these situations, blah, 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 blah. Recent research shows that our brains can retrain themselves to outwit distractions. Well, it just doesn't really say that. And it doesn't say our brain ignores environmental distractions. It says it'll outwit them, which is different. So let's eliminate that one. B, our intention is diverted. Okay. Well, it says actually here, it says attention has been diverted. This one is a bit tricky. I don't like this one. Intention, attention, that just says something different. C, a sequence of cognition occurs. Okay, so it said something like here, involving distraction, realization that attention has been diverted, and then a conscious effort to refocus. So distraction, realization, and conscious refocus. That's explicitly said there. That's the same thing. So I'm going to eliminate that. And I'm left with D. Now, let's read D. It says, so the inference from this is that ability to focus despite distractions is something we can deliberately learn. Now, does it say that explicitly in the text? No. But is that something that we can infer, or is it suggesting that? Well, let's read this. It says, but recent research shows that our brains can retrain themselves to outwit distractions. With repeated practice, environmental cues, blah, 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 can trigger the brain to jump directly back to a more focused state. Let's read D again. Ability to focus despite distractions is something we can deliberately learn. So I think that's going to be the inference that comes from here. And I apologize because, oh, this one takes you through just what I did there. So it is in fact D. I'm exhausted. I've been working all day, and this is an interesting little tip for you. I'm been working really, really hard, right? So I looked at this question 10 minutes before I had to teach it, and I was like, whoa. It was very hard for me to find that answer. And it's because I'm tired. Now, this is an interesting thing because on test day, you really need to take care of yourself and make sure on test day that you have slept well, that you've eaten enough food, that have drunk enough water, that you're not hungover, that you haven't drunk too much coffee so you feel really anxious, because Yeah. Just make sure that you do all that you can before test day to make sure your psychology is strong, because it plays a big part, actually. It plays a very big part on test day, how you feel. But then in saying that, I should also say you should also be practicing in all sorts of conditions. Practice when you're tired. Practice when you're hungry. Practice when you need to go to the bathroom. Because on test day, this is probably the most likely the state that you're going to be in. And it's good if you can push through all of that and concentrate and find the answer despite all of the distractions. Okay? Anyway, multiple choice, choose multiple answers. It looks like this on test day. You can see the little squares, and you can also see that they turn into little ticks or checks when you tick them. You get 2 or 3 of these on test day. Just scoring quickly. Suppose a question has 5 answer options, A, B, C, D, and E, right? And let's say that A and B are the correct ones. So if you choose A and B, you'll get 2 points or 100%. If you choose A, you'll get 1 point or 50%. If you choose C and D, which are both wrong, you'll get 0. You will not get negative or anything below 0. If you choose A and C, well, 1 minus 1 equals 0. If you choose B and E, same thing. If you choose A, B, and C, so that's 2 minus 1, so that's 1 point. And if you don't choose any at all, you will definitely get 0. So make sure you spend some time on this task. What you need to do is run your eye very quickly down the text, just for 3 seconds to pick up key words. Read the question prompt. Read the answer options. Find the answer option in the text. Okay, this is all well and good to say this, but what does that mean? Okay. So how they construct these questions is they take the text, they find an idea or a sentence in here. And what they do is they rewrite that sentence in other words to say the same thing or to say something slightly different or contradictory. If it says the same thing, you need to check it. If it says something contradictory or different or wrong or erroneous, whatever, you leave it, okay? So what you're effectively doing is going through those answer options, finding this corresponding statement or sentence, verifying if it says the same thing or something different, okay? That's the method. Let's do it, and then I'll take you through it. This one I'm going to give you quite a bit of time because it's quite a long text. Remember, if you can't see this text clearly, if it's blurry, there's a YouTube Live link in the chat. You'll have to watch this on YouTube Live. Okay. I must say, A is a real trick. Let's have a look at these answers, and we've got to ask ourselves, does the answer option say the same thing as the text? Does it agree? Does the answer option agree with the text or not? Right? This one, I'm gonna skip A because it's such a trick. No, I can't skip A because you're gonna see it anyway. Fine. Let's look at A. If you were like me, you would have got stuck on A. A says there is a big change in outcomes for boys between the ages of 15 and 16. Okay. Well, it says girls outperform boys. It says the girls outperform boys in reading skills, that is. It says the gap is apparent amongst the 10-year-olds measured in the blah, blah, blah. And it is even wider in the group of 15-year-olds who take part in blah, blah, blah. Then there's another section that says when the reading skills of 16 to 24-year-olds are tested, the gender differences have suddenly become imperceptibly small or have disappeared altogether. So it's saying when boys and girls are very young, the girls are much better readers, but by the age of 16, so up to the age of 15, there's a big gap in differences in reading ability. But by the age of 16, for some reason, around puberty, I guess, those gaps disappear completely or almost completely. So there is a big change in outcomes for boys between the ages of 15 and 16. Does this agree or disagree? If it agrees, do you tick it or not? Agree or disagree? What do you think? Let's have a look. All right. Okay, let me explain it again. I knew this would trick everybody. Okay, there is a big change in outcomes for boys between the ages of 15 and 16. That is, there's a big change in the outcomes of the reading tests for boys who are 15 and for boys who are 16. So the first part there in red says that girls outperform boys, that girls are much better than boys up to the age of about 15, right? But by the age of 16, all of a sudden it changes. There's a big change, and all of a sudden the boys catch up to the girls in reading ability. So there's a big change in outcomes for boys between the ages of 15 and 16. This is a really hard one. The answer is agree, yes. If you didn't get that, don't sweat it. That was a super difficult one. Let's look at B. Teaching methods may be a factor in the outcomes of reading skills. So the text says a difference in intelligence has been rejected, and the same goes for the theory that the difference could have something to do with teaching methods. Does this agree or disagree? Does this say the same thing or something different? Good, good, good. Nice. That one's clearer. Yeah, that's definitely saying something different. So we're going to eliminate that because it's saying that teaching methods have nothing to do with this gap between boys and girls in reading ability. What about C? Boys may be less motivated to perform well in tests. Well, the text says girls are more motivated to do well in low-stake tests. Don't worry about the low stakes bit. Actually, that may be important. Depends. Okay. This is my fault. This isn't a great question. I need to get rid of that low stakes bit. Let's just imagine for a second that this doesn't exist. Agree or disagree? Hopefully you're agreeing. Whoops, bear with me. Yep, nice, good. I'm sorry about the low stakes bit. That was my fault. I should have deleted that because that changes the meaning a little bit. So let's just say that's yes, so we agree with that. So boys are less motivated to perform well than girls on these tests. What about D? A difference in intelligence between males and females partially accounts for the results. Well, the text says a difference in intelligence has been rejected. Does this say the same thing or something different? Are you going to keep it or leave it? Does it agree or disagree? There's a few ways to think about that. Nice. Yep. Different, disagree, not agree. Great. I totally agree with you. I'm going to eliminate that. What about this one here? Girls are simply better at reading. Okay. Girls outperform boys. Girls perform best. Some researchers claim that girls are subject to different requirements and expectation than boys, and that this could explain why girls appear to be better at reading. It's not a great question. Again, it probably shouldn't say simply better at reading. It's a little bit misleading. I'm going to have to clean this question up, and I apologize. It's actually incredibly difficult to write a good multiple choice. Okay. I thought that was going to say yes. Yeah, okay, good. That's fine. I actually agree with that. Sorry, I thought that we were going to keep that one, but no, it's eliminated. And I would eliminate it too because it's just too simple. It's too generic. There's a lot of complexity going on with this text and why girls are better than boys at reading and why their differences become similar later in life. So good. I'm glad that was eliminated actually. Last one. It may be that the PIAAC test is a fairer test. Well, it says PIAAC, which is designed differently, may give a fairer result. PIAAC uses more graphs, forms, and advertisements. Does this agree or disagree? What have you got? What have you got? Nice. Good. Read it again, please. It may be that the PIAAC is a fairer test. Well, the text says the PIAAC, which is designed differently, may give a fairer result. Agree or disagree? Hopefully you're agreeing because I think, yes, nice. I think they say the exact same thing. Or yes, good, nice. My apologies. I'm going to clean this question up. I'm going to flag that for a cleanup. It's not a great question. Let's move to reorder paragraphs. This is more fun. Personally, I think those multiple choice ones are super tricky and annoying. Let's do reorder paragraphs. You get 2 to 3 of these on test day. These are, well, I enjoy these. I like these ones. What you need to do is this. You need to firstly find the independent sentence, the sentence that stands alone that does not refer back to any other sentences. Then you should use your understanding of sentence structure, or really you want to think about how meaning transmits from one sentence into the next sentence, how they connect, how sentences connect in terms of meaning. Now, it might be subject to subject, or it might be object to subject. There's going to be a connection, though, between the sentences in some way. You can also use your knowledge of grammar, how articles turn from to the, how a noun turns to that or this, for example. Really, it's about the flow of sentences from one to the next, and it's about meaning. Let's do it. Okay, let's just have a look at your answers there. Just curious. Okay, nice. Yep. This this was a tough one. This was a tough one. I'm putting you through your paces tonight. Let's have a look at the answers. So the independent sentence was definitely E. This was the only sentence that can stand alone. It says reckless driving, binge drinking, drug taking. It is well known that adolescents are more likely than adults to engage in risky and impulsive behavior. A study conducted at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development provides new insights into these risky decisions. You can see how that object connects back to, the subject and the object of the first sentence. So EC, the findings, because it's talking about the study, the findings, see how those two subjects connect. The findings show that relative to children and adults, adolescents are less interested in information that would help them to gauge the risks of their behavior. They are less motivated to seek out such information and better able to tolerate a lack of knowledge. It's not that they are cognitively incapable of processing the issues. They are simply driven to seek new experiences and try out new things. Who got all of those? ECBDA, ECDBA. Yeah, nice. Someone got 4 out of 4. That's funny because there were 5 sentences, but anyway, that's right. Oh, someone got 1 out of 5. Nice, seeing some good scores. That was a yeah. I struggled with A, the final one. I wanted to put A higher, but I could have these really connected quite well between the sentences. Let's just go back. I want to just take you back through it again. So risky behavior, these risky decisions, or these risky decisions such as binge drinking, drug taking, for example, a study, the finding, the risks of their behavior. They are less motivated to seek out, in 3B, you'll see the word information, are less interested in information that would help them to gauge the risks of their behavior. The next sentence, they are less motivated to seek out such information. And then this was the trickiest one, I think, was 5A, which is, it's not that they are cognitively blah, blah, blah. This was a good closing sentence, if you think about it like that, okay? And they, yes. Let's do fill in the blanks. You'll get 4 or 5 of these on test day. You need to drag and drop the correct word into the blank to make a word pair or a collocation. Just quickly scan read the text to get an idea of the theme, what it's about. If you can identify word types such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, that will help you out to choose the right word to fit the gap. Otherwise, what's the collocation or word combination? There's no timer here, but I'll let you know when you have 10 seconds left. I just want you to do it as fast as you can, please. It's 1 minute. I'll give you 30 seconds left. Ten seconds. Okay, let's look at the answers here. Answers are, well, it's a digital world. You may have been tricked to think about a digital sphere, but that's not the right word here. It's a digital world. Today's digital world, it can be challenging to prevent photos, videos, and books from being what? Well, it's actually from not being what? It's from being something copied. Okay, so what type of word would fit next to that copied and distributed? Well, you could say unjustifiably or illegally. Well, it depends on the context, I guess. The context suggests that it's definitely an adverb, like illegally, but this is the correct one. Illegally copied and distributed. A new light-based technique is making it more practical to create secure, invisible watermarks that can be used to detect and prosecute for counterfeiting. So if you've got world illegally watermarks and counterfeiting, let's have a look at the chat here. How did you go? Nice. Okay, good. Well done. Happy people. That's good. Happy people. Here we go. Reading and writing, fill in the blanks. You'll get 5 or 6 of these on test day. You can see that the paragraph is quite long. I think it gets up to 300 words. And there's going to be drop-down lists with 4 possible answer options. You need to select the most precise answer. This task tests your understanding of meaning of words. Eliminate options that you know are imprecise. How do you do this? Well, read each sentence, inserting each of the options one by one, and listen to the way the sentence sounds. If you have a broad and deep vocabulary, you will be able to perceive which is the correct answer. Choose the option that sounds best in the sentence. To be perfectly honest with you, there's no real method for this one. It is just purely a test of how broad, so how many words you know, how big your vocabulary is, but also how deep your vocabulary is in terms of can you perceive the subtle differences in meaning between similar sounding words. This is a real trick. Let's see how you go. I'll give you 3 minutes. One minute, 2 minutes left. It's 2 minutes. Give you another 30 seconds. 5 seconds left. All right, let's just have a look at those answers, see what's going on. Hybrid, elusive, cold, mystery. Good. Looking good, looking good. Okay, fine. Let's have a look at the answers. So first one is hybrid. So blah, 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 blah. An unknown hybrid species of bison and cattle. That's why it's a hybrid. It's not a breed. If it just said bison, you could say a breed of bison, fine. Or if it just said cattle, you could say a breed of cattle. But because it's bison and cattle, it's a hybrid. That's the best word for this sentence. Okay, the next part is a good little learning thingamajiggy. Basically, okay, let's start here. The mystery species known affectionately by the researchers as the Higgs bison. Higgs boson is a subatomic particle suspected to exist since the 1960s and only confirmed in 2012. Let's just get rid of this for a second because this is where the sentence joins up. The mystery there's the word mystery. The mystery species known affectionately by the researchers as the Higgs boson because of its volatile nature, slippery, shifty, or elusive. Well, this part here is all about an elusive subatomic particle because it went missing. So good. Okay, that's right. Number 3. Okay, they ranged across the something grasslands, legion grasslands, cold grasslands, frigid grasslands, or intense. Well, it's cold because it was an ice age, right? And frigid is not the right word, and neither are legion or intense. And number 4, well, I just noticed that it said the mystery species and it says mystery again. So there you go. If you got hybrid, elusive, cold, and mystery species, did you? Let's have a look. Nice. 3, not bad. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Tara says nailed it again. Uh-oh, somebody got a 0. That's life. That happens sometimes. I don't know what this is. This is a crown. If you got 16 correct, I think, then you got 100%. So I'm not sure how that works. We looked at multiple choice, single answer, multiple choice, multiple answers, reorder paragraph, fill in the blanks, and reading and writing, fill in the blanks. Cool bananas. I'm going to stick around and answer some questions for just 10 minutes, if that's all right, because I've got to try and keep my energy. So I've got to do an IELTS webinar next. Jay, any other sections contribute to the reading scores? Yes, as a matter of fact. Read aloud, the first speaking task, contributes to your reading score. I can't think of the other one, I'm sorry. Is it highlight correct summary? Sorry. Yes. Thank you, Chidu. Summarize written text, the one where you have to read the summary and write the single sentence, also contributes to your reading score. Good. Nice. Yes. Correct. Read aloud, summarize written text. I'll have to make a little video on that to make that very clear for everybody. It's on my to-do list, of which I have 100 things. Nikita, you people really motivate us. Good. That's what we want to do, because studying for these tests is pretty difficult to do by yourself. And it's much better when there's a teacher and, you know, classmates and blah, 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 blah. Jay, is there any negative marking? Just in multiple choice, multiple answers, okay, for reading. What does elusive mean? Well, you might have to look it up, but elusive means difficult to locate. You have a very elusive friend, for example. Can't find him. Good, nice. Rupam got 16 out of 17. Jay, can I book my one-on-one tutorial with you? I'm sorry you cannot, but we have fabulous PTE teachers located all around the world who can help you out and all teach the same methods. And they're all very experienced, by the way, so they're good. So please go ahead and book your tutorial with them. Mohammed missed out just on reading by 3 points. I'm so sorry, Mohammed. You did extreme. Speaking 90, listening 82, writing 84, reading 76. Man, I'm sorry, but it's just the nature of the beast. You have to pick yourself up and do it again. It's just unfortunately how this thing works. Jay, is it okay if we use contracted forms of words in summarized written or spoken text? I would just suggest, to be safe, not to. Yeah. So if it says isn't with a contraction, say is not, for example. Okay. In the listening section for repeat sentence, in the listening section, it's write from dictation, but yes. Does the question pass after 3 seconds? Yes. If you, oh, sorry, you're talking about speaking, repeat sentence. If you don't start speaking after, let's say they say the sentence, and the sentence is, you can pick up your books from the library after 5 p.m. One, and then it shows you when you can start speaking. The microphone opens. 1, 2, 3. If you don't start speaking in those 3 seconds, you've lost your chance. So you have to start speaking within those 3 seconds. Jay, how long to spend time in reading Science Daily and TED Talks? Well, it's totally up to you, but yeah. Before I was talking to you about being mentally and physically prepared for test day, but also here's another little tip. On test day, what you want to do is prime your brain. So let's say your exam is at 10 a.m., right? So you get to the exam center. On the way to the exam center on the train, what do? Do you go on your phone and watch a movie in Hindi or your first language? Or do you start to prime your brain by reading the New York Times or reading some newspaper articles and getting the academic language flowing? Even what you might want to do, and I think this is a great idea, is take a notebook with you. While you're waiting, write an essay, because it'll start to get those connections in your brain of the English language flowing. All the juices will start to flow. It's very helpful. I've taken these tests a lot, right? And I see a lot of people sit there waiting for the test, and they'll just sort of be sitting, staring, waiting. And I think, oh, or looking at their phone or something like that. It's not a good use of time. Start to read, thinking, writing. It's like exercising. It's like warming up for a big run. Jay, in summarized spoken text now, there are videos appearing. So now we have to see, listen, and then take notes, which is challenging. I totally agree. Concentrate on taking notes mainly, okay? You got to listen, you can look, but take notes, okay? Jay, is the test becoming harder as there are new sets of questions with higher difficulty levels? Someone told me. No, there's no new question sets. I don't know if it's become more difficult, to be honest. I don't know. We have a good relationship with Pearson, and they have not said anything to us about increasing the difficulty. So it may be fiction. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, no worries, Naveen. Ram, Jay, how to get rid of the fear of new words in read aloud? Okay, good question. Let's say you're looking at the paragraph, you got 30 seconds to read through it once, and there's a word in there like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and you think, whoa, I'm going to struggle to pronounce that correctly. So what you do is you go blah, 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 da, 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 da. Just say something on that word. Don't skip it. Da, 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 da. Sort of look at how long it is and just say something. You don't have to get it right. But as long as you're sort of getting those, the intonation, that will still help your oral fluency. Don't stop and go, ooh, I don't know that one. Don't do that. So just read through it, okay? Read through it, even if it's not right. That's fine. Thanks, Assam, for pasting that in there. Jay, is it correct that the exam? No, I don't know. Jay, how long time to spend in reading? Okay, I've answered that one. I'm ignoring. Okay, good. Okay, and also, is PTE going to be abolished for immigrating to Australia in the near future? These conspiracy theories are hilarious. No, that's a conspiracy theory. PTE is going very well. Jay, if a reading just has 32 minutes and we're still following the time you recommended for each kind of question, you'll have to go back and watch this video again or watch one of the previous reading ones, because look closely at it, about time management, that is, or go to our blog, type into Google PTE time management. We're the first search ranking. Jay, in my test, the reading section was reversed. So I started with reading and writing, fill in the blanks, and then fill. Okay, fine. Just be prepared for that. That happens sometimes. I think I've improved a lot thanks to E2 language. Good. Thank you, Tilly. That's good. Okay. I recently appeared for the test and my keyboard stopped working. You definitely need to report that on test day to the invigilators, okay? Anything that happens on test day, you report it on test day. Don't be shy. Make sure you go and make a complaint. Because if it's not recorded on test day, I think you have trouble making that complaint. Jay, I miss several words in repeat sentence. Again, like read aloud, just say something, okay? Just say something. Remember in repeat sentence to copy the speaker's intonation. For example, if the speaker says, the library is located behind the gymnasium. Okay, the library is located behind the gymnasium. And you say, the library is located behind the gymnasium. You're not going to get a good score for pronunciation oral fluency. You need to go, the library is located behind the gymnasium. Same intonation, okay? Cool. Nim, is that IELTS online version going to is the same as PTE? IELTS have released a computer-based test. I took it. I have taken that test, the IELTS computer-based test. It's a big improvement on the paper-based test. Makes writing easier, that's for sure. Don. Okay, so Don's missed out on writing and listening. Now, Don, that may have something to do with you're not completing the entire listening section. Right from dictation contributes to your writing score. Pay close attention to summarized spoken text, which contributes to your writing score. Those two as well. So it may not be your writing, it may be your listening, okay? Smriti says it's not live. I don't know what that means. People are saying that the listening time's been reduced. I don't know. I haven't seen or heard anything about that. I hope not. In retail lecture, how to get rid of umming and ahhing, asks Jameet, which is a great question because that will reduce your oral fluency score. So you just need to be conscious of the funny noises that you make when you're thinking, those thinking noises, and you need to try to eliminate them. So all that you're saying, all that is coming out of your mouth are words. All is words are words. I think that would be are words. Yes, just be conscious. Start to be conscious of your umming and ahhing. Okay, I'm just reading the questions. Oh, good. So Fahad complained about his keyboard not working and then got a free test. So that's great. Or her. I'm sorry, I don't know Fahad, whether it's male or female from the name. Yesterday I had a tutorial of Lee. It was very helpful. Thanks. Good. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there because I've got 30 minutes to my IELTS webinar and I better leave some time for that. Thanks for coming along and I hope this was helpful and yes, hope you crack this nut and move on with your life. And yeah, spread the good word about E2 language to your friends if they're taking the PTE. That would be good. And I'll see you guys soon.